Alright guys, what's up everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video, and I first off want to apologize that if the editing in this video is not very great, it's because I have to do this video raw without any editing, so I'm going to do my best to try and make it as high quality as possible. But I am still without my editing software right now. I have not yet got that back up and running, and it's another reason why you haven't seen like a lot of videos and stuff, but I had to talk about this update here in Planet Coaster 2 that's coming in May, and also the updated roadmap for June as well. So they started out the live stream here on Unlock, so if you haven't watched the Unlock stream, I do highly recommend going and doing so you can see all of the stuff they talked about. We're going to be skimming to the fun stuff. So they first talked about what they did in update number 4, which is the April for the April update, and now we have update number 5 that they're going to go over here shortly, which includes the security guards. Security in the parks are returning. You'll have these little posts that you can station them at, and they will go and make sure there's no vandalism, get any guests that are pickpocketing and stuff like that. So they will be returning in this update. So very excited to have the security guards come back in Planet Coaster 2, as they were a thing in Planet Coaster 1. So that's not all, of course. That is just one of the things. You may have seen a little bit that we have more, so you can see here that they have the security guards that you can place down, and then they also have these little stations that you can station them at, and security cameras are also coming back, which is another big plus as well. And you can see they have these little stations here. This is going to be really cool if you want to make like maybe a security section right before your entrance. Maybe you can make it look like potentially that there's bag checks and metal detectors and stuff. So you can actually station them there. That would actually be kind of cool, actually. So this was a development build as well. You can see he kind of was gliding across the path. So just keep that in mind. Everything we saw in this was a development build. But as you can see, we are getting recolorable glass pieces. But not only that, we're getting new glass pieces, new shapes and stuff, which is really, really nice. We have a lot of these different new shapes, triangular shapes, and like all these other ones, like just amazing. They are also recolorable, and those will be really helpful for when you need more different sizes of glass pieces. They are fantastic looking, and glad that those are coming to the game. Another big thing is that we're getting these recolorable rocks that you can change the color of. Now, I know we had some in the aquatic set that you could change the color of, but this is kind of like another texture, I believe. So they look really, really nice, that you'll be able to change the colors, and you can change them to like really wacky colors as well, which is pretty neat. Love that. But here comes the big part of the update for me. To me, this is probably the biggest thing, is the updates that they're doing to the pathing system. They are actually adding invisible paths. And that is just the start of it. So you can see that you can do invisible paths that are above everything. You can see that they have these annoying little curbs and stuff, but of course you can't. Those are very nice to have until you need to make them invisible. So but don't worry, because we are going to be able to get rid of curbs now. That is actually an option. You can see here, there's actually an option to turn off curbs. And you can see once they go over them, those will disappear and your path will truly be invisible. So invisible paths are a thing. You can also turn off the curbs as well on your pathways, but they didn't stop there either. There's still more to the updates and the pathing as well. I know a lot of us wanted to have the option to get rid of curbs, and now invisible paths are also cool. That opens up so much possibility for the future of pathing. So that is a huge upgrade to the pathing system, if you ask me, because now we have so much flexibility with pathing, especially with them allowing to be invisible. Now, I'm just thinking of like my Silver Dollar City recreation, how I can have invisible paths now. I can actually kind of make the swinging bridge now at Silver Dollar City. That would be really cool. It's a little thing, but like it's still huge to me. There's also, you can get rid of the path foundation. So on elevated paths, you can get rid of that thick piece that sits underneath the path. So you can make the paths nice and thin and literally just like the texture, like just standing up there. How amazing is that? That's incredible that we are going to have these options again. Which is pretty awesome. And this is for the May update. So this is going to be in the next update for May, which I believe is set to release on May 29th. So very exciting that we don't have to wait super long. We just have to wait about a month for these updates. But this is going to be a huge game changer for pathing in general, and giving us these options is just huge. They also talked about that the clearance, so you know how you have to build the paths really high up over stuff because it has like that collisions that you have to worry about. They are reducing that by a lot. I don't think it's completely going away, but if you ever have messed with the paths in Planet Coaster 2, one of the few things that do kind of suck is sometimes you have to worry about collision if you go over or under something, and it won't allow you. Even though there's adequate space, they're going to be reducing that. So now that you can build these above stuff a little bit closer now. I'm not entirely sure. They don't think they showed that off, how close you can get, but very, very cool. We're also getting a new stamp in the stamp tool, and we're getting a circle now, which was heavily requested. So now we can have a circle stamp, which you can also change the size of. So if you want to make a quick, easy circle plaza, now you'll be able to do so very easily. So a lot of people wanted that circular stamp, so they are adding that in this next update as well. So a lot of awesome updates for the pathing system in general for Planet Coaster 2, and to me, this makes the pathing system so good. And if anyone's still complaining about the path system after this update, I don't even know what you want at this point. The last only thing I request for pathing is in the queue lines, and that is to be able to do square grid pieces on your queue lines. And that's the last bit that I would want to see in pathing. Besides that, it's practically perfect. I mean, the only other thing that would make this better is if you could like import your own custom textures for paths. But you can kind of do that just by using, custom billboards if you really wanted to, if you're on PC. That would be the only thing that would make the pathing system even better, which I don't even think it 100% needs. Like, this is huge, and they're also adding the draw tool as a delete tool as well, I think it was. Draw delete tool. So now you can just draw and delete, which is a pretty cool feature as well. I didn't you can actually delete instead of create now with the draw tool. So if you want to cut out patterns on the inside of a big plaza, very specific patterns with the draw tool, you can now do that. So very cool to add that as well. To me, the pathing system is pretty much as close to flawless as you could probably get. I'm not going to say it is the most flawless system because there is like itsy bitsy tiny things here and there. But to me, the pathing system is practically perfect after this update. I think it's beautiful. Again, the only other thing I want to see is them to kind of tweak the queue line paths a little bit to allow us to do those square edges like we were in Planet Coaster 1. After that, I think we'd be fine. If I'm going to be perfectly honest, I think this pathing system is perfect the way we need it. Also, another thing they're adding, remember, you could do this in Planet Coaster 1, but it was not available in Planet Coaster 2. You could now add those textures to your coaster stations as well, like you were able to in Planet Coaster 1. That will now be available in Planet Coaster 2. This one was a smaller one, but it's still very nice, a very nice addition to be able to add those textures to your station now as well, like we were able to before. Because if you had a feature in Planet Coaster 1, obviously I want to make sure that's in Planet Coaster 2 as well. So, with that being said, we go into some D-themed coaster trains in this update as well. As you know, in these free updates, they've been adding new D-themed coaster variants, and for this update is probably the one I'm most excited for, because we get the Gravity Group D-themed coaster, which looks pretty solid, and you can go ahead and obviously attach whatever you want and theme it yourself, which is huge, but these D-themed. But the big one for me is the next one, the second one that they revealed, and that is the RMC trains are getting a D-themed version. So you don't have to worry about using the Malice Unchained one anymore, which to me was overly themed, and everything like that. So we are getting RMC D-themed trains. Now, I do have a couple of nitpicks with this D-themed train. I think they look okay, but I think they look a little bit too far away from RMC trains. Like, they obviously have the basic shape, but they definitely changed these trains. They just don't look like RMC trains as much as they should, in my opinion. These edges are definitely weird because it just has like a straight edge going down like that. That is completely different. The Zero car has a weird shape to it in general. Now, it's not a huge deal, mostly because we can attach scenery to this stuff and make it look more like an RMC train anyways. So I can just get some art shapes in there and get that edge that I want to put in there like I would in a real RMC train. I can decorate the Zero car to make it look a little bit more like a actual RMC train. So, and they don't have like the bars on the side. Most RMC trains are going to have those like black bars. Usually they're black. Sometimes they're different colors, I think, but those like bars on the side. So I'm not going to completely I'm so happy that we do get a plain version of the train. I just wish it resembled an RMC train a little bit more. I think they went away from RMC. I know they're not able to make it exactly 1-to-1 as an RMC train. They have to have those differences because they don't want to get sued by, like, say, RMC and stuff. But I'm still very happy with this, and I just wish the design was a little bit closer to resembling the RMC trains. From a distance, they look fantastic, though. So, like, if I wasn't looking at it straight on like this, I would say that it looks really good. But if I'm looking at it really closely, I think the Zero car kind of looks a little funky, and then the sides of the cars just have a weird shape to them. But again, we can fix these things ourselves utilizing art shapes and such like that, and being able to craft. It just makes it so much easier since they are empty now. So it was really hard to do with the Malice Unchained. Now, the Malice Unchained kind of resembles an RMC train a little bit better than these, in my opinion, but they have the theming on it, which makes it kind of suck sometimes. So I didn't want to say crap because they are fantastically nice. They are really good trains on the Malice Unchained, but if you're not doing that kind of theme, it kind of, makes it hard if you want to go for a certain specific theming on it and such. But these still are fantastic, and this was the D-themed coaster I was looking forward to the most, and I was really hoping we would get, so I'm very excited to see that we are getting a D-themed version of that. Now, the returning ride for the May update is going to be the Vector Return. This is a Vekoma Boomerang inspired ride that has the Vekoma trains. Now, this is already possible to do in the game in its current state. You just have to turn on interchangeable coaster trains, and on the Boomerang we already have, you can turn on using the Vekoma trains. So to me, this is kind of an L when it comes to returning rides, because we can already accomplish this type of ride in the base game, honestly. So to make an entirely new coaster type out of it, to me, is a little bit, almost, I hate to say it, but useless. We didn't need this because we can already make something like this without this. So I get they're trying to bring back everything from Planet Coaster 1, but honestly, all you have to do is change the coaster train, and that's it. Literally go into the Aero train Boomerang, which is what we already have, and then just change it to Vekoma trains, because we already have the Vekoma, we already have that Vekoma train in the game already. So to me, this returning ride was a little bit of an L, mostly because I feel like there's other things that I would rather see return, like the Aero suspended coaster. Anybody? That is probably the most requested one at this point. is an arrow suspended coaster. Now, the last thing, we already knew what this was. What theme is returning for this update? Obviously, it is the sci-fi theme. We all knew this was already coming into the game. The way they teased it, they weren't very cryptic at all. You know, they were saying out of this world, using the word like lasers and a lot of different things. And, you know, they made it very obvious of what theme we're getting next. And, of course, now for the June update, they said there would be another returning theme. And they made it very obvious that it's going to be fantasy themed because they said they're such a fairy tale or something like that. Like, yeah, they're not good at teasing, being cryptic because their teases pretty much give everything away. So, sci-fi theme returns. I imagine all the pieces are returning. Some of these I'm not sure of. Like these doors, I don't know if we had those doors beforehand. But I'm recognizing a lot of these animatronics from Planet Coaster 1, so really excited to see all of those come back. Basically, we're going to be getting all of those pieces. I'm always for getting more scenery pieces in the game because I feel like that's something Planet Coaster 2 does lack a little bit because we don't have a huge development in the game. Now, let's talk about this updated roadmap of Planet Coaster 2. They have now added June, and we have more details about May's update here because we just went over all those security guards and then the rock and glass color customization. There's going to be new career maps coming. The rides, stock coasters, we're getting the RMC D-theme coaster and the D-theme train on the kind of gravity group style coaster. And then the vectors coming back, the return vector from Planet Coaster 1. New wall pieces. This is some of the stuff they didn't always mention, but we're getting new wall and eve pieces for Western theme. So, like, they're adding stuff into the Western theme that they just added not too long ago in the March update. So we're getting pieces added back into Western more. I don't know if that's a new wall piece. I'm guessing some of those are. Like, it's really cool to see that they're adding stuff into the Western theme. Circle path stamp, draw tool for delete mode, curb toggle, ongoing stability and performance. Obviously, all those pathing stuff. To me, the pathing stuff is the big update here. As much as I love security guards returning, to me, it's the pathing. That's what I'm most excited for here. And the glass pieces are really cool too. And, of course, we're getting the sci-fi theme returning, so that's going to add a lot more pieces for us to work with in the game. So let's talk about June, and I was so happy to see this one, and I gotta say, June is probably one of the most exciting ones that I've seen, because the first thing on here is Souvenir Shops. Sell a variety of souvenirs to make your guest experience unforgettable. This has to be like the modular shops in Planet Zoo, where you can customize the souvenir shops. You can place all of your like shelves and stuff, and you can choose what goes on the shelf, so you can make proper gift shops or like ride gift shops and such. So if you have an exit to a coaster, you can have them walk through a souvenir shop, because it also adds on ride photos. Photos will be sold at connected souvenir shops, so your photos will be sold on these souvenir shops. So I'm assuming that it has to be modular at this point. So like the Planet Zoo, except we're going to be able to sell the on-ride photos in these souvenir shops. So you can connect those on-ride photos cells with the souvenir shops. That's so good, because that's really how they work. You go through a gift shop on the exit, and usually you have a little photo booth where you can actually purchase your on-ride photos. Now, how are the on-ride photos going to work in the coasters themselves? Is there going to be a separate piece that's flexible and you can put it anywhere on the ride? I'm not sure. Is it going to be a camera that you can add at any point and trigger it, maybe? Using the triggering system, so you can actually, like, you know, have the camera exactly where you want it when it takes the photo. Or I'm not sure exactly how that works. I would hope that the stand, I don't know if it's going to be its own separate stand that you connect with the souvenir shop, or if it's just going to be what. We'll probably get more views of this on the next Unlocked stream for sure. But I'm excited to see how they implement on-ride photos for the game. I'm very, very excited. This is one of the most heavily requested features in the game. Also, souvenir shops, ever since they put them in Planet Zoo, have been heavily requested in Planet Coaster 2 as well. I'm so excited for that. That basically just, for me, kind of just leaves Like, I just want more brands in the shops for Planet Coaster. That's what I want most right now, because we are very limited on brands. So that's my opinion. I just want more brands. And then we also have hotels, which have not been seen just yet either. So I think hotels are going to come back. I think they're doing a full revamp of how hotels will work in Planet Coaster 2. And I think it's just not ready yet. And I think that is something that they are legitimately working on, because people want hotels back into the game. It just makes it amazing if you can create like actual resorts and stuff and everything like that. So to me, after this June update, man, I am ready for some DLC. I think we're ready to start seeing DLC again. Now, Frontier, I hope you're watching me, because I'm ready for DLC. I think everyone else is about ready for DLC. I hope they're not too scared to start doing DLC again soon. But the game is to a spot where I think most people are starting to come back to the game. They're excited and everything, and I think you can have successful DLC, but I hope the DLC has good value. Now, the last DLC, which was the Thrill Seekers DLC, was what, $15 for like, how many rides was it? Maybe 8? I don't even remember how many rides it was. It was like 6 or 8. I can't remember, but it was not the best value. And they either needed to add more rides to that or lower the price a little bit, because it just wasn't worth it at that point. Now, some of the packs I would love to see, I want Spooky to return really bad. Spooky is one that I'm super want very bad. I want it really bad. I love spooky stuff. I love making like scary themed stuff. And then also my other two are Adventure and Studios. Those are my some of my probably my 3 favorite DLC scenery DLC that we got in Planet Coaster 1. I hope those themes kind of return in some way, shape, or fashion. Now in June, I believe they said we are going to be getting another returning theme, which would be Fantasy. Fantasy is going to be the next one. They've already teased that, so it's basically confirmed that Fantasy is coming back. And I think they said that will be for June as well. They said the next returning theme will be for June. If I heard that correctly, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So keep a lookout for that. Now, what is beyond June? What happens in summer? Again, I legitimately think we're going to start seeing the DLC coming out and starting this summer. I would love to start seeing that. And I think it is going to happen, because the game is in a state now where it feels like a true sequel to Planet Coaster 1. We have gotten all of our, a lot of stuff returned back into the game. Like, we'll have, once we get all the themes back, all that's going to be left is Pirate after Fantasy. If they get the Pirate theme back, we'll have double the amount of themes in Planet Coaster 1 and Planet Coaster 2 for like the base game themes. So that to me is an incredible sequel. Now we need to get all the rides back, and they're slowly getting these rides back into the game. But we need the Arrow suspended coaster. That one needs to come back, man. To me, that's the number one that needs to come back. And there's quite a few flat rides that still need to come back. Adjustable heights on tower rides is also a must. I think they need to bring that back. Planet Coaster 1 started to do that towards the end, but didn't carry that over into Planet Coaster 2, unfortunately. So if you have like a shot tower or a drop tower, allow us to adjust the height of those. That would be very, very appreciated. Hotels, and then really, there's not much more left. I think a scenario editor needs to come back as well. I would love to have the scenario editor back. For me, that's actually a pretty big one for me, is the scenario editor. But I'm really happy of where the game's going. Frontier has outdone themselves, actually making the game great. And I really do appreciate all the hard work they've been putting in. We need to be praising them for getting the game to a state that is very good. So I think they deserve praise, and for coming out here and listening to the community, saying, okay, we need to get this game in this kind of state. And they've been working night and day to get these updates out to us. I'm sure they are so hard at work. This is a lot of stuff in a short amount of time to add to these games. These are huge updates. These aren't small updates every month, and they're putting them out every single month. So yes, it had a rocky launch. Yes, it had a rocky start, and a lot of people were upset, and rightfully so. But we need to praise them because more companies need to be doing this and listening to the community feedback to make things right. Not just, it's fine. You guys don't know what you're talking about. We're going to do what we want. No, they are actually going based off of our feedback. Now, there's still stuff that needs to get into the game. Like, don't get me wrong, they're not there yet, but they are continuously adding stuff that we've been asking for each and every month. Not like every few months. Every month they've been adding more features to the game and more content to the game, all for free, no DLC, because they were committed to get the game to where people are happy with before getting more DLC, because people were upset about the first DLC that came out. So I am so incredibly thankful for Frontier for continuing this kind of behavior. And I hope that they learn from their mistake from the last few DLCs and that they will have more value in those DLCs that are going to be coming next. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments section. What do you think about the updated roadmap? Are you excited for these next updates as much as I am? I know I am. I'm super excited for the June update now with Souvenir Shops and on-ride photos, and I'm sure there's more to come. Like, they just announced stuff for the May update that we didn't know about a lot as well. So very, very exciting stuff. I'll keep you guys in the loop on, hopefully I will be getting my editing software back up and running. I know a lot of you have been wondering what's been going on, that maybe those that don't keep up with me as much, that's why there hasn't been like proper videos, because I have not been able to edit my videos properly. They've been rendering and I've had issues I've had rendering issues. I've been be able to edit my videos, but when they render, the quality is really bad and I haven't been able to figure it out yet. So still kind of working on that, so be patient with me, guys. I'm going to try and make up with it doing some live streams. So if you don't usually watch live streams, I highly encourage you watch some of these live streams and just, kind of hang out with us. They're a lot of fun. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. So make sure you guys have a great day and a cool tomorrow. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much, guys, and goodbye.